Well, here we go again. New York City's MTA wasting more taxpayer and funding money to put up things that just, it's unbelievable the waste of money that they're doing here in New York City. We talked about the buses, the electric buses that's on there, and we have another story coming out on that the company that they bought it from have had some issues with some of the buses they've given out, and other companies that have sold some of the similar buses on there have had major problems where one county has decided not to basically go forward with more buses because they're beginning to fail a lot. Then we have the new fare beating turnstiles, which they've already just literally in days they've already defeated that. How much money they've spent on that. Mayor Adams has put these robots instead of putting cops down there because we've lost a lot of cops, and now they're spending money on these renting these robots out, which we're still waiting for the first one to get drop kicked onto the IRT. And then the worst part of it all, the congestive pricing. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, talk about a hook for money. You're putting a tax on going further south of Manhattan as you get into the city on trucks, buses, cars, tourists, teachers, doctors, many other workers that come into that part of the city are going to pay probably double the toll, depending on where they're coming from, getting no discount to the situation, and the MTA to reap the value on it. And if you don't think that basically the MTA is going to put it into these projects, you have a second thing coming, because basically the only thing that's going to add is more pollution to the forgotten borough, which is Staten Island. And of course, the Bronx will have their issues. The Brooklyn, Queens, other parts of Manhattan, lower Manhattan will have pollution problems. But this is the things they don't think of. This is the things that they just literally throw in. And the newest thing that's out now, if you live in Manhattan, if you've been up on 191st Street, they've put up these barriers to protect people from getting thrown on the train.
Well, Joe, this is a big development for strap hangers. Will it save lives? We're talking about these new yellow structures. They're brand new, just installed subway barriers installed this weekend here at the West 191st Street station for the number 1 line. This is the Fort George section of Upper Manhattan. The sole purpose is to protect subway riders from falling or getting shoved onto the tracks. You can see how they're set up to add another layer of safety while allowing passengers on and off the trains, bolted in strategic places along the platform, leaving gaps where the train doors would open. Crime is a growing concern underground. There have been so many shovings recently. It's hard to keep track of these horrible crimes. And of course, when one innocent rider is pushed onto the tracks, everyone feels the nightmare.
I haven't seen these similar barriers. I think 14th Street Union Square used to have something similar to these a long time ago because of the way the train comes in on the curve. And I think also South Ferry used to have something similar to this. But you tell me, folks, I mean, this is ridiculous. They say, well, it's protecting people, when they're near the platform, but you got to go in between the barriers to get on the train. So most people are going to flock. If you notice on the picture, most people are flocking into the center section between the barriers. And the thing about it is, people are still going to get flung in there. They're still going to get thrown onto it. As crazy as someone is, we've already seen a guy jump at a judge over a counter and stuff like that. What makes you think they ain't going to body slam someone that way as well? And on top of that, they're ugly as hell. Well, let's read into this from the New York Post. Ugly MTA subway safety rails at NYC station don't impress strap hangers. What's the point? The Metropolitan Transit Authority has installed safety rails at Washington Heights subway station as part of a new pilot program. But Big Apple's strap hanger said they're not sold on the idea. They should put barriers at every train station in the city, but not like this one. David Meha, a customer service representative for the Long Island Railroad, told the Post on Monday at the 191st station, number one train station. What are they actually doing, Meha said. They are opening still. What's the point? Retail worker Chris Mills calls the bright yellow rails a cheap option at best. In Japan, for example, if you have high-tech barriers that cover the gaps, Mills said, this is just a start. The MTA installed the barriers in the wake of track trespassing task force reported last year that sought to address the subway system's fails, shoves, and jumps. The barriers were placed at the edge of the platform over the weekend with gaps in the railings, enough space for strap hangers to get in and out of subway cars. This is about finding creative ways to improve safety, MTA chairman and CEO Jano Lieber said in a statement. A hearty pat on the back to New York City transit professionals who found a practical way to jumpstart the feeling and reality of safety in the subway system. The plan is to try out the barriers at 3 other stations, West 8th Street, New York Aquarium, F and Q train stations, the Clark Street 2 and 3 train station, and the 4th has yet to be determined by MTA officials announced. It's still an experimental phase, Lieber said. It's always an experimental phase. It's a waste of money. The agency said New York City Transit last year deployed similar barriers in 3 stations, is continuing to monitor how effective they are at keeping New Yorkers off the tracks. But the idea met with more head scratching than thumbs up at the 191st Street station Monday. They look ugly. Strap hanger Alex, sorry if I mispronounced this, Jasihova. When I heard that they were going to put something up, I really thought they were going to put something more modern. I thought they were going to cover everywhere and go up and down. Another subway rider who identified herself as L said she didn't see the point. It's been a big issue here on 191st Street. A lot of people are being pushed onto the tracks or falling on the tracks. Whether they are sick or high or intoxicated, I don't know. They should do what they do in London. In London, they close it completely. The barriers could also hinder busy strap hangers. On Monday, the doors on incoming trains didn't always line up with the openings and the yellow barriers, forcing riders to slid around them, which that's more dangerous. Some, however, took it in stride. I didn't even notice, to tell you the truth, UPS driver Stephen Hurd said. They do look kind of safe, but adults know what they are doing. If they want to get onto the tracks, he added, it's good for the kids. Kids are running here. It's a good sign that they say, hey, slow down. It ain't going to slow anybody down. This is the ridiculous point. You know, I mean, the only thing you could do is completely cover the entire thing. When the train comes in, you could have another set of doors open, 2 sets of doors opening up on the rail system. You know, but this is not what they're going to do. It's going to cost them a lot of money because a lot of shutdowns. You know, they think fast on certain situations and don't think for other things. This is just, you know, the awareness of the situation is just another waste of money. You know, this is, you know, think that the taxpayers are funding some of this. This is coming from federal dollars as well. So this is, some of this is taxpayer money going to fund some of this insanity. But there are many other ways that it can be fixed. First thing is to increase security at all New York City subways. That's the first thing. Understand that. It used to be a time and place where we used to have just transit cops. Their job was to police the subways. They were merged into the NYPD many years ago. And that's when we lost a lot of guys on the tracks, that basically they don't come down to the railway stations unless they are actually needed. So tell me in the comments below, you know, what's your thoughts about this? Is it ugly? Is it okay? Do you think this is going to work? Not going to work? You know, I really want to hear about this, because basically this is just another waste of money. It's just waste of dollars that could be put elsewhere. I mean, we have new trains that are supposed to be running, and most of them are back at the depot being fixed. We have buses that, electric buses that are not 100% going to work. We got those new turnstiles that everybody's already defeating. I mean, this is the ridiculous. And then, there's money that's needed to continue the Second Avenue subway, which basically that's been going on since I was a kid. I'm 58 now. Think about for a second how long it took for them to finally get a Second Avenue subway up and running. Several decades. And it wasn't because of construction. It was just basically politics and money. So remember to share this video, hit the like, and hopefully today's the day I've earned your subscription. Until next time, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to check out all of our other videos here on CudaCast TV and Man with the Show. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. Enjoy. And, just be safe. Be strong out there. And we'll get through this together. Bye-bye now.
Thanks for watching, commenting, and sharing this video. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe as this helps the reach of this channel. Finally, as a content viewer, you have the ability to help support this channel as new internet laws around the world will diminish our reach and affect our sponsors. If you choose to help, there are two ways listed in the description below. The first link will lead you to a pay site where you can make a monetary donation. The second will lead you to our gear shop where you can buy shirts, mugs, and other gear. Discounts will be listed on the site. Once again, thank you for watching and your support.